Hi, this is John down at Cleatus Farms, and today we're going to set up a little maker space. We're going to make a passive wick system, and we're going to do a little mini deep water culture system. These are two systems. We're going to use 2 recycled water bottles, and we'll use them for both systems, one for each one. And on the deep water culture system, we're using 1 outlet pump and about 3 feet of hose. It's about $11 worth of supply. Plus, you're going to need bag clay pellets. And for the passive wick system, we're going to need, we tend to prefer the Happy Frog, which is a high-end soil. It's got a lot of biology in it. It's great soil, so we're going to use that. Those are the 2 things. So let's get making. First, we're going to cut the bottle. Get it ready. We got the bottle cut to 2 pieces. Then we're going to have a wick. For the wick, I'm using a piece of burlap. It's pre-moistened, and we're going to slide it in and tie a knot with it. If you want, you can also use a cotton rag is fine. That'll work just as well. The whole idea is we're just using a wick, and I like to pre-moisten it. This way the thing's not bone dry. So this is the wick we just made. This is how we're going to set it up. And then we're going to fill this up with water. The water, what I did is, for the water, you want the pH on the water to be between 5.5 and 6.5. That's the ideal for nutrient uptake. So what I usually do is I make about 2 gallons of water in this bucket. I use a little of the pH down, which is right here, and then I test it and I make sure I'm about between 5.5 and 6.5. Let's fill this up with water. So now we got water in this. We put the wick. That goes in here. I have some basil that we seeded about 2 weeks ago. Parsley that we seeded about 2 weeks ago. We're putting it in here. Want it to sit right on top of the wick. And then we're going to backfill it with the soil. What you might find is the soil might get a little dry after a couple days. If you want, just take a little bit of water and just spritz the soil with water. Most of the time, the wick will be drawing water up and we'll be keeping everything moist, so the plant should be fine. And this is what it looks like. After about 2 weeks, this is what it should look like. This is lettuce that was done 2 weeks ago. It's a butter crunch and it's doing real well. Okay, now let's do the deep water culture system. Same thing, we cut the bottle, 2 sections. This is what we got. We set it up this way. We're going to put the air hose in here. Let me get the water. Once again, like I said with the water, you want it between 5.5 and 6.5. We're in North Jersey, so if the water tends to be a little bit on the low side and you mess it up and you tend to be a little too low on your pH, our water tends to be high coming out of the tap, so we'll just mix it and dilute it till we get it up to where we need it to be. 5.5 and 6. We're going to put this, we're going to put the air hose in. See how it's bubbling? That's the air going in. It almost looks like it's boiling. Then we're going to grab another parsley. It's going to put it right down there on the hole so it sits over the top, and we're going to fill it up with the clay pellets. We're using Cleatus clay pellets. It's a perfect growing media. Doesn't harbor any pathogens. And actually I tend to prefer deep water culture because you don't get any fungus gnats. It tends to work out really nice. And this is what it looks like. This is what the finished products, and you just let it be like this. You always want to keep the water somewhere over here, and if you have to add nutrients, we use Grow Big. If you're doing it in deep water culture, you want to make sure you use Grow Big Hydro. It has calcium in it. If you're doing it in soil, you can use Grow Big that's designed for soil without the calcium in it. And you just let it boil. After about 2 weeks, it should look something like this. This has been growing there for 2 weeks. You can see the roots growing in it. The second thing is you're going to need a light over this thing. You want to make sure you run 14 to 18 hours of light. I have this day spot light. Runs about $27. We take these, we put them underneath it, and then what I'll do is I'll plug it in the morning. About 14 to 18 hours later, I'll unplug it. The next day, do the same thing. This way, we're making the artificial light and everything's growing. And the beauty of the deep water culture, if you decide to do tomatoes and cucumbers, you can actually take them and move them into a larger deep water culture system using the same air pump and the same hose you had. This way, for another $16, you can have a vat that's going to grow your tomatoes and cucumbers all season long to full size. You can even take this outside and grow them out there. So that's it. This is our grow space. This is what we did with our maker space, and you're all set to go. So come on down and see us down at Cleatus Farms, and we can walk you through just about anything you want to grow. We'll see you soon.